Hi everyone, this is Irek E. So welcome to this tutorial. In this video, we are going to be talking about how to create a perspective section view in Revit. Just like we have here as a normal 2D section view, we also have a perspective section view which I'm going to be treating in this video. Now it is so important because most of the clients you're dealing with in this AEC industry are actually novice that know nothing about building and design. So in that case, you need to communicate to them the best way possible, which is by cutting several sections of your project in order to show certain views and certain hidden elements so you can actually win that client. Now, aside that, I'm also going to be showing you how to add view templates to the perspective section view which you have created, all in a bid to have a seamless presentation of your work. So before we get started, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video so that more people can see it, and if you have any questions, please leave it on the comment section below. Now let's get started. Now to get started, we are going to be using this floor plan. The first thing I want to do is to go ahead and duplicate this level 1 here. Come to my project browser and right click on level 1. So I'm just going to duplicate it with detailing for a reason. I don't want the annotations to go, especially the annotations that has to do with the room tags. So I don't want it to go. So after which I'll have to rename it. Then I right click and rename. So I'm just going to call this one level 1 presentation. Now the next thing I want to do is to create a template on this particular level 1 presentation. So I right click and create view template. So I can name it just anything. Practice VG. That is for VG, for visibility graphics. So then I say OK. Say OK. Now we have that. So the next thing I want to do is to go back to level 2 also and do the same thing. Right click and I duplicate the same view with detail. So we have this here. Alright, so I can rename it and equally call it level 2 presentation. I'm just gonna delete this, or you select it and say select all instances visible in view and just type delete. So the purpose is just I wanted to leave these particular annotations so that we can know what we are doing. If I go back to the level 1 presentation and I do the same thing, right click, select all instances visible in view. Alright, then I can delete and I still have all of this, but then I need to apply the templates to this view right now. But being on this view, I can decide to maybe do one or two things on the visibility. It's like the walls, you can choose to do something about the wall, like under the halftone you can check it. So the walls there is just going to be halftone, and then any other thing also that you need to touch, or you can go to the object style and touch the projection line width or the cut line width. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do that here as long as you know what you want. At the end of the day, you just hit OK and then you hit OK again, or you have that template set up there. You can see the walls that are in halftone, they are already there. Then to create our section perspective view is being on this level 1 presentation. What I have to do is to just go to my view tab and then you select the camera, place the camera at any point here, and if you're not okay with the scale of 1:100, you can uncheck this perspective. Alright, drop this down. You can change the scale to 1:50 and also check the perspective view. All you just adjusted is the scale, and then you place the camera at any point here and then you go that way. The second point will review what you have captured, so you try expanding this. Alright, just like that. You can decide to hide the crop view as well, and then if I select this, I can also decide to hide it. and then I have this as well, show crop region, and select this. So now I have this. The next thing I want to do is to go to this view cube, click on the arrow, and then you go to orient to view, then I come to section. All right, so I want to create this section perspective view to my section 1, and then if I select this section 1, and as you can see I have this 3D section view, and the name by default is 3D view 1. all right, so aside that, my section 1 which I have here is also this. So this is a 3D perspective view of this, but right now it's not yet in perspective view, it's also looking like orthogonal view of it. In order to make it look like a perspective view, let's try expanding this a bit and expand this. Now let's go to our level 1 presentation plan. So I go back to level 1 presentation plan. In order to be sure what I actually want to display, let's say for example I want to display that between this sitting room through this stair hall here down to the dining, there's a glass door here. All right, this is not just a door but a glass door. Let's say I want to display that for the client to know, and then I also want to display other things, how the staircase runs all the way up over to this place, and then you land on the first floor, rather than trying to explain them up in the plan like this. So the next thing I want to do right now is to turn on my section box. All right, so how to do that? I can just come here and go to my 3D view 1. all right, so once I select it and then I right click, you can see show section box. So once you show the section box, place the line exactly where you want it to appear. Now I drag this line to the edge of this. Let's just leave it on top of this wall. As you can see, the wall has a projection to this point, so let it cut across the wall so we can see the fullness of the glass door, and then we can also see all of this. So with this now I can click anywhere and the section box disappears. And the next thing I also want to show is to select this, and then I show the camera. Okay, you show the camera. So if I drag the camera to any of the angled position, or maybe I just bring it close a bit, and then the target point I also drag it further beyond the plan, or maybe bring this close a bit, and then I go to my 3D view 1 and you look at it. So you can see certain things like the door. You can now see that it's a full glass door that we have there, and then you can see the dining there, and then up there you can see that is the master's room that has a wardrobe, and then this door leads to the toilet, and this is the entrance door. So if we go to our 2D level 2 presentation plan, you can actually see what is happening there, that this is the master's bedroom, and then this is the other door we just saw, and the rest of that. Then if you see a door somewhere here, no, is for the staircase. You also see a glass door here leading to the study. So if we go back to that 3D view, you're going to see all of that. This is the glass door leading to the study. All right, the section box also serves the purpose of cutting the view at any level where you want to cut. So but as far as I'm concerned, there's no need for all of this right now. All we just have to do is just to leave it at this, and then maybe move the camera a bit so we can see what is happening inside of this place. So we go back to the level 1 presentation. Let's bring back our camera, move it somewhere there, then bring the target over to this place. Alright, then I go back to 3D perspective just to show what you have in mind. Now you can see this is the television, but because it's rested on the wall that we just cut, so you can see the back and it's facing that way. Same thing is happening here. This is the bed, and there's a seat somewhere here. So there's a wardrobe down there and the rest of that. So this is the study, this is the door to the staircase, and so forth and so on. Now if you like this, you can decide to maybe render it or export it. We are just going to do export. So what I'm going to do right now is to select this section box, and then I can just hide it, hide elements. So I have that section box hidden there, just in case you are interested in rendering it, but we are not going to go into that in this tutorial. Then I can turn the shadows on right now. Okay, so if you are okay with this, you can just go ahead and render this. But then I now want to apply the view templates to all of this. So what I just have to do right now is to select this. At the same time, I select the level 2 presentation, then I right click, you apply view template, and then in this case the name of that view template is practice VG. all right, so we just select it here and say apply properties. Okay, and that means it now has the same properties with level 1 presentation. So I think this is okay. For the purpose of this tutorial, let's just export it. And before we export, let's go here and turn off this. Now we no longer have the crop view, so we have that. Export. Let's export it as a JPEG file image. Then in this case you can choose your location, so I can just name it section perspective. Can save, and then I can change the pixel, but let me leave it at 1500, and then I say okay. So I have successfully exported that. Then the next thing I want to do is also to show several other views. Maybe the staircase did not show up the way I want it. Then I can also go back to my level 1 presentation, all right, and return to my 3D view, select it, and I show camera. Then move the camera towards this other side, and I drag this to this point, and then I go 3D view 1. So here you can now see what is happening here, that the moment you open this door, the first thing you see here is the staircase climbing over. So under the staircase constitute part of the dining, so you can also see how the seats are being set up in the sitting room. Or maybe you don't like the way it is positioned, we can as well go back to our level 1 presentation and also adjust this, or maybe bring this further a bit, and then we go back. So let's say I'm happy with this as well. All right, the next thing I have to do also is to export image. Then we have 1500 pixel as well. You go back to your location, we can go back to this place, section perspective 2, save. Okay, level 1 presentation. all right, so if you need to export this as well, you can do some adjustments on the visibility graphics, so you can just turn this into realistic. all right, or maybe turn the shadows on as well, but the walls are in halftone, so if you're okay with it, you can go by that. But me, I really want to do some changes right now, so I just go ahead and type VG for visibility graphic. Then I look for the wall, so as you can see it's halftone. If you uncheck this, apply it and say okay, you can see that if I return back to maybe shaded lines, you can see a difference there. all right, so I return to my level 2 presentation. You could see that here we have the walls as hidden lines. So if I return to not realistic shaded, you can as well do so. So In the next tutorial, I'm also going to show you how to set the orient to the plan views and also present it as a plan view but in a perspective plan view. So that will be in our next class. But with this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it, and make sure you subscribe to this channel for more Revit tips. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.